Sure, I think you can see that in our results, Julia, that we're not immune to this from this crisis. We did see a steep decline in advertising revenue starting in about the first week of March, and that sort of continued. Now we've seen some more recent stabilization. As part of the earnings release, we did include information about the first 3 weeks of advertising performance in Q2, so in April, and that's about flat year over year versus the performance in 2019.
So to have a stabilization, though, does that indicate to you that things will start to turn around by the end of this quarter into next quarter? What's your outlook going forward?
Well, I think the outlook here is really uncertain, and that's why we're not providing guidance. We're really just giving the data that we have up through the first 3 weeks. We know that economists are calling broadly for a GDP contraction in Q2 that's pretty substantial globally. We know that advertising tends to be very sensitive to the macroeconomic climate. So we're really, have a very cautious outlook on how things are going to develop.
Now, you have both small businesses on your platform and the biggest brands in the world. What trends are you seeing, especially when it comes to small business? I know you've made various efforts to help small businesses right now, but are you seeing them fall off a cliff or just stop advertising completely?
No, I mean, we're seeing that. We're seeing advertising, pull back, but we're seeing it fairly even across both large and small businesses. So we know that this economy is hitting small businesses particularly hard, but we are seeing there are small businesses who are digital natives who are advertising on our platform, who are going after sort of online conversion outcomes, whether it be app installs or e-commerce transactions. So, we're seeing strength in those sorts of verticals, and that's true for small businesses as well as large businesses.
Now, are you making any changes now to sort of take all these areas that Facebook is seeing increased engagement, whether it's more video calls or people live streaming on Instagram? And are you going to be able to introduce new ways to monetize that? Because a lot of these areas with the biggest spikes in engagement aren't actually being monetized very much right now.
Well, Julia, first of all, we're really gratified that our products are helping people as they shelter in place. That's really important for us. And we're seeing that with people engaging with, Facebook Live. I've done exercise classes on Facebook Live. We're seeing people use our portal products. I use it to connect with my parents. So I think we're seeing, a ton of engagement. We'll see, obviously, as shelter in place restrictions come off, and hopefully, we're looking forward to that. Like everyone, we'll probably see some of this in engagement fall off. But overall, we're seeing a lot of engagement across a lot of our surfaces, many of which have advertising. So Facebook News Feed is doing well, Instagram Feed is doing well. So I think we've got a lot of opportunities from a supply of advertising inventory point of view to grow the business. But demand is obviously very weak in this economic climate.
Certainly. Now, I want to get your sense of expenses. You reported that expenses in the quarter were on the lower end of expectations. Also, going forward, operating expenses are not going to be as high as you previously forecast. Give us a little sense of why that is and where you see the expenses actually shifting, if they are shifting as a result of this crisis.
Sure. So, we're maintaining a strong but more focused investment program. So we're continuing to invest heavily in product development and recruiting technical talent. So we've talked about adding 10,000 people in the workforce in those areas. We do think that we will realize savings in certain areas like travel, events, and marketing. And in addition, we will see slower headcount growth in our business functions. So overall, we did bring down our expense guidance range for 2020 by about $2 billion.
David, it's Sarah Eisen here. For years, at least the last year, probably more than that, the headlines and the narrative around Facebook have been around privacy concerns and fake news, toxic content, and legislation, investigations. To what extent are you guys inside the company seeing this as a moment to really pivot and convince the public that you're an essential tool for bringing information about the outbreak and connecting people to each other that could have a longer lasting impact on your company?
Well, we know that there's a real need here and there's a real opportunity for us to focus on how we can help in the COVID crisis. And we think of the three things that we can do there. First and foremost, we can help people stay connected to the people they care about. We've got 3 billion people using our products. across, Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, and WhatsApp. Second, we're helping the public health response. So we've connected over 2 billion people to our COVID information center on Facebook. And then third, we think we can play a role in helping small businesses and the economy recover. We made our own. We're also announced that we're putting $100 million of grants towards small businesses as part of that. But more importantly, we're helping small businesses be able to have a presence online and connect with people, drive online conversions where they may have been doing, in-store sales before, for example. So we think we have an important role to play for both people who use the platform, but as well as for businesses.
David, I wanted to ask about Messenger Rooms. Clearly, all of us are using video conferencing apps much more than we have done in the past. There have been some questions with some rivals of yours about security with some of those calls. How confident are you about the security of Facebook Messenger Rooms? And what can you tell us about your approach to privacy and whether there will be in any way analysis of what is being said, whether that's by algorithms or anything else or AI at Facebook?
Yeah, we don't listen into calls and monitor things like that from a privacy perspective, Wilfred. So really what we're focused on doing here is expanding our free video calling options that we've had for a number of years on both Messenger and WhatsApp. So Messenger Rooms we're really excited about. We think it provides a great way for people to engage. And I think it's especially timely in this crisis. And then on WhatsApp, we've expanded the number of people that you can have in a video call from 4 to 8. We again think that's really important right now. Facebook Live, doing great. It's got 800 million people engaging, watching Facebook live stream. So, we're really excited about the different, video offerings and the expansion of the video presence offerings that we have with things like Messenger Rooms.
David, as we try to figure out how we're going to open up these economies and the path forward, one of the key features that we need, according to all the medical professionals and the leadership, is contact tracing. How are you guys thinking about that at Facebook? With such a critical mass, so many Americans and people around the world on Facebook, can you be a part of this, or do you worry about the privacy implications of that? Identifying people who have the virus and letting people who've had contact with them around them know that they've been exposed?
Well, sir, I think, we're focused on where we really think we can add value from a public health response point of view. And there, again, I point to the work we're doing to connect people with information that's important for them to get. So the COVID Information Center is part of that. There's other places that I think we can make a contribution as well. But that's the focus that we have.
And one question I have is, as you think about the work you're doing around COVID, but also around your own workforce. I mean, Facebook was one of the first companies to have its employees work from home. How are you seeing this changing the way your employees work going forward? Do you think that you'll be bringing fewer people into the office? Does it change the way you treat some of these huge headquarters buildings that you've been investing so much in?
Well, we don't know the answer in the long run, but I will say that we've got 95% of our employees working from home in this environment. So we've got a small amount of staff who's having to go into data centers and into the offices, and there obviously the focus is on safety. So what we've been pleased with is our ability to continue to operate in this environment. We're able to ship products. We're able to, stay in touch with our business customers. We're able to operate the business, review content. So, we think we're doing relatively well from an operations perspective in this work from home environment. It means we're going to be more cautious as we bring people back into the office as well. So we're going to make sure that, we have a paced approach to that. And obviously we want to make sure that the shared resources out there in terms of transportation infrastructure are for those essential workers who need to get to their jobs. If we're able to do our work from home, we'll probably be slower to roll back in.
And Dave, just a final question about Facebook's recent $5.7 billion in India's Reliance Jio. Tell us about how this investment reflects your interest in emerging markets and where you see future revenue growth coming from.
Absolutely, Julia. India is just an incredibly important market for us. It's been one of our top growth countries for a number of years. It's our largest MAU country, monthly active users. So, India is right at the center of the long-term opportunities for Facebook and the whole family. And obviously, WhatsApp's an important part of that as well in India. We're really excited to be partnered with Jio Platforms, with Reliance. Jio's been an incredible story about bringing digital opportunity to the people of India. It's great to be partnered with them. We think there's a lot we can do with WhatsApp and with Jio in India. So, we're very excited about that. We were able to make that investment even in this tough economic climate because of the strong balance sheet we had. So, we're really pleased to be able to move forward with it.